Hey everyone, my name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. I've got a couple of comments, people asking, hey look, what's your top picks? What's in your portfolio? All right, fine. I'll share what's in my portfolio and I'll show you what my top picks are. But there's a couple of things I want to go into and a disclaimer before I show you my top picks. So here we go, we'll bust in here. So my top picks. Disclaimer, I was asked the question, what are my top picks for each sector? I'm only sharing my opinion. These are not recommendations and they need further evaluation by yourself. I am extremely risky with this part of my portfolio. This only constitutes a very small amount of my wealth in each of these positions. I am heavily invested in physical precious metals, and this is the anchor of my portfolio. So what I'm showing you is not the bulk of my portfolio. I just want everyone to realize that. And why am I so heavily invested in precious metals, right? This is called Exner's pyramid. The top portion up here is high risk, and the lower risk of default as you go down. The edge or the tip of the pyramid is precious metals, particularly gold. Paper money is riskier than gold. Government bonds, treasury bills are riskier, and the risk goes up as you go up this. If you notice, non-monetary commodities is very risky. It is some of the most risky things. And if you're playing stocks and you're playing the non-monetary commodities, you are leveraging up. That is how we're getting such great gains in terms of purchasing power. That's how we're doing it. You got to take some risk. So real estate is obviously, real estate and commodities are kind of right there. We're not messing around with derivatives. But I just want you to understand that my portfolio is more down here anchored than probably a lot of yours. So that's something that you need to think about. I'm going for the least amount of risk and reaching for non-risky plays with the bulk of my money. Physical precious metals is where I hold a lot of my wealth. It's the least amount of risk in the world and has a potential upside in valuation against all other assets. It's because it's cheap right now. It's cheap against stocks. It's cheap against the money supply. It's cheap against a whole bunch of things. This is the time you load up because this scenario is ultra rare where you have something with such little risk and such great upside potential. That's the time you buy this stuff. You don't buy it when it's expensive. What I do is I accumulate over time. I cost average in to the precious metals that are undervalued in terms of history. Right now it's platinum. It was silver right before that. And I do own gold because that is real money. That is what everything is going to get reset to if we ever had a reset. So you gotta have these three, in my opinion. Silver and platinum have a huge industrial role in the future of a green revolution. Therefore, I hold those two, and they were also extremely cheap on a ratio basis. It's kind of a win-win. So, overall opinion here, these investments have a lot of risk, and in order to get outsized returns, you need to push the risk profile. That's how I'm getting these returns. Some of these companies are on the brink of bankruptcy. When prices move higher, they will move accordingly and have outsized returns. That's how they're beaten into the ground and into the dirt so much that there is the risk of bankruptcy. And I want everyone to understand that. Invest accordingly to the risk. These should not make up the majority of your portfolio, and spread your risk amongst many of them if you decide to buy any of these. Now, I did do a little bit of research to try to reduce the risk as much as I could. So what I'm doing is I'm finding billionaires who are backing these companies. If they need more money, typically the billionaires that have a large vested stake in the company will protect their investments and pony up more money. Eric Sprott's one of the billionaires that I follow. He is behind some of my junior explorer picks, owning 15 to 20% of a lot of these companies. Hedge funds have been buying SM Energy. John Goff has a 28% stake in MCF. He's a billionaire. And Texas billionaire Wilkes Brothers they took a major stake in QEP Resources. Lots of smart money's piling into QEP. Insiders are buying up the stock as well. I use that as indications that I need to take a position alongside of them. Will all of these be major winners? I'm not 100% sure. That's why I'm not betting a farm on it. I'm not betting the farm on this. I'm putting small stakes and doing calculated bets, trying to do my homework, trying to find people and aligning myself with billionaires who own major stakes in these companies. That's my approach. So oil and natural gas, these are my top picks, but keep in mind, some of these are very leveraged. MCF, SM, QEP, and a larger company, SU, is Suncor Energy. I was talking about Suncor before Buffett bought it, but Buffett just recently, I guess, bought Suncor. Natural gas, these are all in the Montney area, AAVVF, BIREF, SWN, that's not in the Montney, and Crew Energy, CWEGF. SWN is Southwestern Energy. And also keep in mind that some of these, they're not going to look that good on a balance sheet. They're going to look pretty crappy. And that's the reason they're going to go up so much. They're going to look, the oil companies, natural gas companies, commodity companies in general are going to look the worst at their bottoms, and they're going to look really good at their tops. So you can't really value them on a metric fundamental basis because they're going to all look like garbage at the bottoms. Some of them had to go through Chapter 11 on some of them. And then billionaires step in, they buy the company up, they use it as a tax shield, and then they put in management and say, hey, you're going to run it for me. And then they start backing the company and they start acquiring assets on the cheap. That's what MCF's doing. And I also own mutual funds, a mutual fund in oil and natural gas in the energy sector. Precious metals, these are the ones that I like. I like royalty companies. They really reduce the risk out. You can put some money in there, and I like ELYGF, TEUTF, WPM, MTA. Those are all very good royalty companies. I like those, and I own them. Mining companies, IS, VLF, WL, BMF, and EXK. Those are the ones that I own. In the junior explorers on the right, DS, VMF, TDRRF, FGOVF, THM, and MMNGF. Those are the ones that I think are going to do very well. I also own a lot more than just that. But those are some of the top picks that I have that I know quite a bit that I think will do pretty well. And I also own a precious metal mutual fund in a 401k. Base metals. So nickel producers are VALE, NILSY, and SOUHY. I go over a lot of these in my market updates and charting them. The Explorer is Nickel Creek Platinum. That's mainly a nickel and copper with some platinum. I own copper, SCCO, and the diversified ones are RIO and BHP. And then the royalty that I am looking at, I just purchased a teeny bit, is NVARF. That's Nova Royalty. And I own a mutual fund that has just kind of a generic base metals fund. Uranium is exploration. They're all exploration companies that I own that I like. These are the ones I like the best. DYLLF, BSENF is baseload, NXE, BNNLF, GLATF, and ENCUF. Those are the uranium explorers that I like, and I don't hold any producers right now. I also own a lot more in a lot of other sectors that I don't necessarily talk about a lot. I own some tech, yes. TTD, Roku. I actually own Tesla, and it is in a bubble. It's a bubble stock, and I still own it. I still have it. I own IPOB, which is Open Door. Those are my tech companies. I own some home builders, HOV, KBH, LGIH, and MDC. Cannabis, TLRY, APHA, CGC, and there's one other one. I can't remember it. Some other ones, CMG, MA, Visa, and etc. There's a couple that I own there. And then aerospace, I own Boeing, RTX, which is Raytheon, and SAVE, which is Spirit Airlines. And I know for Eric, so you believe me, I screenshotted when I bought Tesla. I bought it in August of 2018 and September of 2018 for those amounts. Just to show you that I bought it, that I'm not lying. So ending statements, I have more companies than I'm sharing here, and I spread out the risk. I'm mainly buying money in commodities right now. Those are the companies I'm picking up. Precious metals are the spot to be with big money, in my opinion. And I do have some picks that are losers over my investing life. Some of these, a lot of them have been winners that I'm sharing here that have remained in my portfolio. There's a lot, especially in the beginning of my career, a lot of losers. I've lost, a lot of money in the beginning. And my recommendation is don't get discouraged. It's going to take a lot of hard work. And I think I read an article that said that 80% of investors don't make money. That's pretty rough. So a lot of these you got to buy and you hold them. And one of my techniques for buying like technology companies and even just regular companies is I literally throw away the balance sheet. Like I don't even look at it. And I just look to see in the world, what do I see happening? So for instance, Chick-fil-A, I would buy Chick-fil-A if it was public. Chipotle was killing it. That's why I bought Chipotle. Tesla, I started seeing Tesla cars. I just bought Tesla, even though I'll be honest, I'm not a huge Elon Musk fan. But I bought it anyway because I saw him growing and I was like, they're going to make, if this were to take off, I'm going to have some money in it. I don't care. And it's actually somewhat of a larger position now. Not huge, but it's getting big. So because they've gone up so much. Look at companies that you just see growing. MasterCard, Visa, those were another two that I was like, just throw some money and I just leave it. I don't ever really expect to trade much out of it. So this is what's in my portfolio. That's what I'm buying. That's what my top picks would be. I don't necessarily recommend it for you guys. You choose what you want to do. The bulk of my money is really not in stocks. I try to protect it and leave it over here in precious metals. I don't like speculating with the majority of my money. So that's my take. Hopefully this, tells you what my portfolio kind of looks like, and hopefully it gives you a good glimpse of what I have. So subscribe, comment, and click the thumbs up button. Thank you.